It is Lent once again in the sartorial kitchen, and one thing I'm not giving up this year, butter. It is my butter poached cod. Then I'm doing a sautéed asparagus with garlic, lemon zest, and parmesan, serving that up with a decadent hollandaise sauce. And last but not least for dessert, gooey butter cake topped with powdered sugar. So why don't you pull up a chair and dine with me? Welcome back, everybody. Yes, butter, and more butter today. But what's wrong with a little butter? So of course it's Lent, which came really late this year. And I always do some kind of fish, and I'm going to do something different. So I thought, let's do a butter poached fish. But of course I wasn't going to just do fish, I was going to do some kind of dessert as well. And that is where we are right now, a gooey butter cake. Yum yum. So we're cheating a little bit. Yellow cake mix. Betty Crocker did all the measuring for me, so I don't have to. To that, half a cup of butter, just right into our 13 by 9, which I have already greased. And to that, a couple eggs. And we come in here and give it a whisk. Break up those yolks and just stir everything together until it's nice and evenly incorporated. I just want that cake mix and the egg and the butter to come together to a nice little dough. And it'll just be a nice little thin layer on the bottom of the sheet pan, because we will be adding a lovely little cream cheese mixture to the top of this. Okay, and dump that out. Alright, I think we're good there. Let's come in here with my spatula. I'm just going to smooth this out so it's a nice even layer all the way around. And you can use a smaller pan if you want this to be taller, thicker pieces, but I almost want this kind of like a brownie size. You just want to make sure the bottom of the pan is completely coated. Okay, I think we're good here. Then we can move on to our cream cheese mixture. So for that, I have an entire block of softened cream cheese. You want to make sure it's softened so it incorporates well with the powdered sugar. And to that, a little bit of vanilla, about a teaspoon. So I want this to have lots of good flavor here. A pinch of salt to cut through the richness of the powdered sugar. And powdered sugar, ta-da! I'm gonna measure this out. One cup. Let's see, 2 cups. We'll start with about 2 cups. It takes about 2 to 3 cups. You're always looking for like a frosting-like consistency. And I'm going to use my hand mixer to make this a little quicker on me. Just start on a low temperature. You don't want to make a mess here. If you go too high, you're going to be wearing powdered sugar. And once it starts to incorporate, you can crank it up here a little bit. Just until all that sugar is mixed into the ingredients. And I am going to go ahead, I've got about 1 cup in here. So I'm going to go ahead and add that in. And that is all she wrote on our powdered sugar. And slowly mix in the rest of this. Okay. That is well incorporated. Now if we were making a red velvet cake or a carrot cake, we'd stop here because we have our icing. But this is a gooey butter cake. So a couple more ingredients. 2 eggs. Cracking these carefully to watch for eggshells. Do not want eggshells in our gooey butter cake. Just 2, so 4 total, 2 for the cake and 2 for the topping. And then incorporate these eggs. And I'm using the stand mixer for this. I don't want to whip a lot of air into this. The air in these eggs is what's going to make this rise. Beautiful. Okay, get rid of this guy here. And we pour the rest of our mixture on top. And it should just pour right out. Ooh, yes, look at that. If you want, you can use the spatula again, just to make sure we get all of this out of here. Leave no man behind. Beautiful. And we're done with you as well. Thank you for coming. And then I'm just gonna make sure that this is spread out to a nice even layer on top. Looks beautiful. Time to go in the oven. So this is set to 350 and it's going to bake for about 40 to 45 minutes. We'll check it at around 40 and see where we're at. If we need to leave it in a little longer, we can. And now we can move on to the main course. All right, welcome back, guys. The main event, cod. We're going to be poaching the cod today, but first we need to season it up. It is a bland white fish, so we want to be nice and purposeful with our seasoning here. Some salt and pepper. Both sides of the fish. And again with the pepper. These are just 2 large fillets. You could do some smaller fillets if you'd like. And I said we're poaching these. We most certainly are. So I've already got a pan here with some ghee, a full container of ghee. And I've thrown in some shallots and some garlic to really flavor the butter for us, because I want this fish to be nice and flavorful. And then you just drop the fish in. Beautiful. And this piece as well. So I'm using a smaller pan, so I get more of a submersion when I add the fish into the ghee, which ghee is just clarified butter. It's butter that's had the fat solids removed, and you just want to make sure that fish is nice and submerged so it cooks through evenly. And it's going to cook for about 8 to 10 minutes, just until it's nice and tender. And while it does, we will begin our asparagus. So, asparagus, I've got it right here, just a nice little bundle. You've probably seen this at the grocery store before. They're like little tree stalks. And I'm going to show you how to prepare these. So first, we want to gather up all the ends. These little white little parts here. And chop that off. It's not particularly appetizing. Okay, so now we're going to take the asparagus and drop it into our boiling water here carefully. Now, why am I putting this in boiling water? Because we're going to be blanching and shocking these. And I don't mean shock like getting some devastating news. No, we're going to just give these a little bit of a cook, just to kind of tenderize them slowly. And then we're going to throw them in my ice bath here. That's going to help it maintain its color. Then we're going to saute it to finish cooking it the rest of the way. And I'm going to steal some of that flavorful ghee to saute this in. So that asparagus, about 1 minute to 2 minutes tops, literally. And then we will take it, dump it into our ice bath. It's going to sit in the ice bath 30 seconds to a minute. Okay, so it's been a couple minutes. We're going to take out our asparagus and drop it into the ice bath. Literally about 30 seconds to a minute tops. And I've turned that off. Now let's check on our fish. Oh, guys, look at that. Yeah. So, just flip our fish here. Beautiful. Yes. And I'm going to steal some of this ghee out of here. Maybe just a little more. Ooh, we'll turn that down. It's like popping. Now, fish is going to go back in for the rest of its time. All right, that looks really good. Guys, that smells so good. So we're going to drop in a little of my jarred garlic there with some of the oil for some nice flavor. Just kind of stir that around. Now it's going to cook very quickly. So we take our tongs, drop our asparagus right in. Try and drip off any of that excess water. We don't want the little sauce here to get watery. And then just give it a little toss so it gets coated in that lovely garlic. We're going to continue to season this with some salt and some pepper. And then we're making a sauce for all of this, a hollandaise. So we'll go ahead and get that going. So hollandaise. We're gonna start with some eggs. And I'm gonna separate the eggs because I just want the yolks. If you have an egg separator, great. Otherwise, you can just use the shell. Just be careful not to pop the yolk or you'll have to start all over. So we just need 2 yolks for this. Oops. Okay. And 2. We can save the whites for an omelet. Also, about a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. That's good Dijon mustard, not that yellow stadium mustard. Of course, some salt, some pepper, and a little lemon juice. Roll this baby out to release some of those juices. I'm using half the lemon now and the other half for the fish. Let me just come in here and give that a good squeeze. You need about a couple tablespoons of juice. Beautiful. And we're going to give that a little stir here. Just until it's all well incorporated together. Lovely. Okay, I'm going to turn down our asparagus to low. It is nice and tender and caramelized and it smells amazing. And our fish should be finite. So we shall pull it out as well. Guys, that looks so good. Nice and tender. If you're not entirely sure, you can kind of poke a knife through the fish. It should be nice and tender. Or you can always take its temperature. But that looks pretty good, I think. So let's finish our hollandaise. Okay. So we're going to begin our hollandaise. I got my pan going. We are not going to throw our eggs directly in there. Because why? That will scramble them. So we're going to temper the eggs. So I'm going to pour in just a little of our ghee here while it's bubbling hot from coming out of the oven there with our fish. And that's going to temper the eggs and slowly cook them through. And make sure this is on a very low heat. We do not want to scorch our sauce here. And we're just going to slowly pour that in. And just on a very, very, very low temp. The lowest. And just give it a little stir. We'll go ahead and add the rest of our butter. So I started with a couple tablespoons. I'm going to add a couple more. Just nice and rich and lemony and buttery. And just give it a little zhuzh with the whisk until it is nice and thickened. It only takes a few minutes, guys. This is a very quick, simple sauce. As you can see, we are pretty much there. So I'm going to pull it off the heat. You leave it on too long and the eggs will curdle and make a mess. So we're going to set that aside and we're going to pull it. Okay, so the asparagus. I'm going to finish it with a little zest of the lemon. Just to give it a nice, fresh, fragrant, floral quality. And I'm going to sprinkle on a little fresh grated parm just to give it some really nice flavor. Of course, you can't go wrong with cheese. Okay, first, I'm going to grab a nice big piece of fish and some of our asparagus, just like so. If you want, you can set the fish on top of the asparagus and get a little fancy with the presentation. Then we're going to take some of this delicious hollandaise and just zhuzh it right over top of the fish. You can even put a little on the asparagus if you like. And then I think I'm going to come in here with a little more of the parm, this lemon up here, into a nice wedge. I always like to serve lemon with seafood, and there we have it. All right, we're gonna dig in. First, I want to take my lemon, give it a little squeeze all over everything. And I think I'll start with the asparagus. Yeah, so you see that it's still nice and bright green, even though it's been sautéed. Yum. Yeah, so just nice and soft. You can hear it still has a little texture to it. Just the right amount of seasoning. Of course, that hollandaise sauce. And now for a fish. See, nice and soft and flaky. Cuts right through. Nice and tender, soft. Fish gets a little chewy when it's dry, so this is perfect. And then that hollandaise sauce has just the right amount of moisture, flavor, good amount of salt. Beautiful. So good. I'm going to finish up here real quick, and it should be time to pull out our cake. Okay, moment of truth. Oh, yum, 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 yum. Nice and tender, cooked through, beautiful. I'm going to set it on my cooling rack here. I want to let heat escape from underneath as well and have it cool evenly, so it will come out of my pan better. So about 10-15 minutes, just let it cool, and we'll give it a taste. Okay, moment of truth. I'm gonna come in here and slice me a nice little corner piece. Yeah, beautiful. That pulled right away. So take this out. Look at that, beautiful, nice and golden brown, soft in the middle. And customary to top it with a little more powdered sugar. And there we have it, gooey butter cake. Yeah. Nice and sweet. So you get a little bit of texture from the outer part here. It's a little more done. But then the inside, with all that cream cheese, it's almost pudding-like. Nice and soft and buttery. Just the right amount of sweetness. That's so good. So guys, it was a little tour de force of butter. Thank you for joining me as always. Please like and subscribe, hit me up in the comment section. And until next time, bye.